SKOL Nation, stop right in OWUS. Bank Stadium just erupted with breaking news, and one fact is already on the table: $15,000. A defensive star got fined for doing his job. A franchise quarterback's accuracy is under the microscope. The top pass rusher is OUT for Sunday. A rookie linebacker vanished from the roster, and an injury report just revealed who's ready to battle the Bears. Each shot could redefine this season, starting now. Insiders warned us last night, and here's the first payoff. That $15,000 figure. It's not speculation. It's the exact fine Dallas Turner is fighting after what should have been the cleanest sack of the year. If you bleed purple and gold more than you hate the Packers, hit like and subscribe right now. Let's prove Viking Nation is the loudest fan base in football. We start with the penalty that has the entire league talking and fans furious. Stay locked to the end. There's a double cliffhanger involving Green Bay you won't see coming. Late second quarter, Baltimore driving. Lamar Jackson drops back, and out of nowhere, a flash of purple lightning explodes through the line. One defensive end, two blockers, zero chance. The rookie from Alabama sliced through Daniel Foley and Roger Rosengarten like they weren't even there on a design stunt. And boom, Lamar Jackson hits the turf. The stadium roared. The coaches celebrated. The defense mobbed him. It was a textbook sack, the kind coaches show in film rooms for years. The player who made it happen, Dallas Turner. And here's why this changes everything. Turner's been waiting for this moment since the Vikings drafted him. He spent training camp rotating with 3 defensive tackles because Brian Flores prioritized the size in the middle. But on that one play, Turner reminded everyone why Alabama sent him to the NFL. 17 yards of chaos compressed into 3 seconds. The power, the speed, the timing. That's not just a sack, that's a statement. Except the referees didn't see it that way. 15 yards, roughing the passer. Turner fell on Jackson with his full body weight, and according to the rulebook, that's illegal. The penalty gave Baltimore better field position and a field goal that made the score 10-9. The Vikings eventually lost that game, and Turner's highlight became a nightmare. But wait, it gets worse. On Thursday afternoon, Turner met with the media and dropped a bomb. He's not just dealing with the penalty. The NFL fined him $15,000 for that sack, and he's already filed an appeal. Turner said it himself, quote, "I've already been fined. So, there was an appeal filed. But you learn from experience. Every week we're still learning and growing. Learning from experience, putting out quality work. It's a continual job, but we continue to strive for greatness." Listen to that tone. That's a man who knows he did nothing wrong, but has to pay anyway. Let's break down why this is absurd. The body weight rule exists to protect quarterbacks from defenders landing with malicious intent, dropping knees or elbows directly onto their ribs or spine. That's not what happened here. Turner made a clean tackle, wrapped Jackson up, and gravity did the rest. There was zero intent to injure. In fact, if that exact same tackle happened to a running back in the open field, coaches would put it on the highlight reel and call it perfect form. But because it's a quarterback, because it's Lamar Jackson, suddenly it's a crime. Intent should matter here. Turner didn't drive his weight down. He didn't target a vulnerable area. He just finished the play the way every defensive coach in America teaches it. But this is the NFL, so intent doesn't matter, and now Turner's wallet is lighter. Here's the kicker. This is Turner's second fine of the year. Earlier this season, he got hit with a penalty for a helmet-to-helmet collision with Justin Herbert against the Chargers. That one was borderline, but at least there was contact above the shoulders. The sack against Ball, Immer, clean as they come, and the league still punished him. The rule needs to change fast, because right now the NFL is telling pass rushers, don't play too hard, don't finish the tackle, and definitely don't make Lamar Jackson uncomfortable. That's not football, that's bubble wrap. So here's what I need to know. Viking Nation, do you think the body weight rule is protecting quarterbacks or ruining defense? Drop your take in the comments. If you think Turner got robbed, smash the LIKE button and let the league office know we're watching. And if you believe this penalty cost the Vikings a chance at that Baltimore game, subscribe and let's flood the algorithm with purple pride. But hold on, because while Turner fights the fine, the injury report just dropped some huge news about who's playing Sunday. Leadership on the line, health in question, and one star return to practice. Stay locked, closed door. Thursday afternoon, reporters gathered, cameras ready. and Kevin O'Connell walked to the podium with the weekly injury report. Every team does this dance, but this week the stakes are higher. The Bears are coming to U.S. Bank Stadium on Sunday, and Minnesota sitting at a record that demands wins now. The Vikings beat Chicago in Week 1 on Monday Night Football, 27-24, thanks to J.J. McCarthy's fourth-quarter explosion. Since then, the paths diverged. The Bears rattled off 6 straight wins, while the Vikings went 3-5 over 9 weeks. Division record matters, and Minnesota's 2-0 inside the NFC North with both victories on the road. A win Sunday keeps that momentum alive. But who's healthy enough to play? The name everyone wanted to hear, J.J. McCarthy. On Wednesday, McCarthy was limited in practice due to a contusion on his right hand. He took a helmet to the hand late in the Baltimore game, and it clearly affected his accuracy in the second half. He completed only 6 of his last 17 attempts after the injury. Fans panicked. Was McCarthy going to miss Sunday? Would Nick Mullins start? O'Connell hinted earlier in the week that things would improve, and on Thursday, McCarthy took full participation in practice. Translation: he's playing. McCarthy's officially listed without a designation, which means he's ready for his 5th career start. That's the biggest relief of the week. But let's talk about the rest of the report, because there's still some question marks. Edge rusher Jonathan Greenard didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday due to a shoulder injury. He's been the most consistent defensive player all season, and his absence would leave a massive hole on the edge. O'Connell said Greenard's status is still being evaluated, but missing the straight practices this late in the week is never a good sign. If Greenard can't go, Dallas Turner steps into the starting role, with Andrew Van Ginkel on the opposite side. That's a lot of pressure on a rookie who just got fined for doing his job. Center Ryan Kelly is another name to watch. He's been limited in practice both days due to a concussion. Kelly's working through the protocol, but he hasn't been cleared yet. If he can't play, Blake Brandel would make his 6th consecutive start at center, which isn't ideal, but also isn't a disaster. Brandel's been solid filling in, but getting Kelly back would stabilize the middle of the offensive line, especially against the Bears' defensive front that loves to collapse the pocket. Running back Aaron Jones is dealing with a shoulder and toe issue, but he's been limited in practice, which suggests he'll gut it out Sunday. Jones is critical to this offense's balance. When he's rolling, it opens up play action for McCarthy and keeps defenses honest. If Jones is compromised, the Vikings lose a huge chunk of their rushing attack and their check-down safety valve. Safety Josh Metellus and tight end Josh Oliver are also limited with foot injuries, but both seem likely to play. The good news, tackle Justin Skull went from limited Wednesday to FULL participation Thursday, clearing up his shoulder issue. Safety Harrison Smith got a veteran rest day Wednesday, but didn't practice Thursday, which is standard maintenance for a player his age. Cornerback Christian Darrisaw is in the opposite situation, going from full Wednesday to DNP Thursday, but that's likely just load management on his knee. Safety Theo Jackson is fully cleared from his concussion and ready to roll. Now let's flip the script and look at Chicago's injury report, because the Bears have their own issues. Linebacker TJ Edwards didn't practice either day due to hand and hamstring problems. If Edwards is out, that's a huge blow to Chicago's run defense. Safety Yaquin Brisker also missed both practices with a back injury. And wide receivers DJ Moore and Romo Duns were limited Thursday after missing Wednesday. Those two are critical to Caleb Williams' production. If Moore and O'Duns can't play at full speed, the Vikings secondary gets a massive advantage. So here's the question, Skull Nation. Who do you think is more banged up heading into Sunday, the Vikings or the Bears? Comment your prediction. If you believe Minnesota's got the healthier roster and that's enough to win, hit like and show the Bears what's coming. And if you think this injury report just gave the Vikings the edge they need to move to 3-0 in the division, subscribe and let's take over the NFC North together. But hold up, because while the injury report clarifies Sunday's lineup, there's a darker story brewing inside the roster. A rookie the front office praised after the draft just vanished from the team. What happened to Kobe King? The next chapter will shock you. April Draft Night. The Vikings are on the clock in the 6th round. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and the front office have already secured Donovan Jackson in the 1st round, refusing every trade offer to grab the Ohio State guard. Now they're hunting for depth, developmental pieces, players who can contribute on special teams and grow into rotational roles. The name they call? Kobe King, linebacker, Penn State. Adolfo Mensa is excited. He goes on record immediately after the pick, praising King's physicality and downhill mentality. Quote, Kobe King, Penn State linebacker, I'm really excited to have him with us. A lot of times in football, we overcomplicate things, but at certain positions it's a power and skill game, and linebacker is one of them. You need someone to tackle the guy trying to run the ball against your team, whether it's on special teams with the ball in their hands or covering passes. And he's someone who plays with range, makes tackles, and has an impressive physical impact. That's the GM publicly betting on a 6th rounder. That's a vote of confidence. Fast forward to training camp. King battles Brian Asamoah for the backup linebacker spot, and King wins. Asamoah gets waived and signs with the Titans. King makes the 53-man roster. Everything's going according to plan, right? Not quite. Over the first 5 games, King plays almost exclusively on special teams. He gets 3 defensive snaps in Week 3 during the blowout against the Bengals under Jake Browning. But that's it. 5 games, minimal impact, and then in October, the Vikings make a shocking move. They waive Kobe King. No warning, no explanation, just gone. The Jets claim him off waivers, and now King's wearing green and white, playing the exact same role. Special teams contributor and backup linebacker, but for a different organization under Aaron Glenn's defense. So what happened? Why did the Vikings give up on a 6th-round pick after 5 games? CBS Sports' Josh Edwards named King the most disappointing rookie on the Vikings roster, and the reasoning is brutal. Quote, beyond Jackson, the Vikings draft picks have played a combined 133 snaps on offense or defense this season. They only had 5 picks, and one of them, 6th-round linebacker Kobe King, is now on the Jets. That's cold, but it's true. King was supposed to be a tone setter, a downhill thumper who could stop the run and make an impact on special teams. Instead, he barely saw the field, and when the Vikings needed a roster spot, he was the odd man out. Here's where it gets complicated. During the preseason, King had plenty of opportunities. He played significant snaps in all 3 exhibition games, showing flashes of his Penn State pedigree. He recorded 22 tackles during the preseason, which led some to believe he'd carve out a role during the regular season. But once the games counted, the coaching staff didn't trust him. Brian Flores runs a complex defense with multiple fronts and coverages, and maybe King couldn't process it fast enough. Or maybe the Vikings saw something in practice that didn't translate to game day. Either way, they cut bait fast. The frustrating part? King wasn't a day 3 flyer with 0 expectations. Adolfo Mensa talked him up publicly. The front office clearly believed in his skill set. And in a league where linebacker depth is critical, especially on a team that plays as much nickel and dime as the Vikings do, it's surprising they couldn't find a role for him. Instead, King's now contributing to a division rival in the AFC, and the Vikings are left with Ivan Pace Jr. and Troy Dye holding down the backup linebacker spots. It's not a catastrophe, but it's not a great look either. Let's put this in context with the rest of the draft class. Donovan Jackson, the 1st-rounder, has been solid when healthy, starting 7 games before missing due to wrist surgery. He's shown the promise of a long-term starter, but the other 4 picks, minimal impact. Wide receiver Ty Felton, a 3rd-rounder, plays special teams and hasn't gotten offensive reps because the receiver room is stacked. Defensive lineman Tyrion Ingram Dawkins is raw, but flashes potential at 22 years old. Tight and Gavin Bartholomew hasn't played a single snap due to a back injury. And King, gone. That's a draft class where only 1 player is contributing consistently, and the rest are either hurt, buried on the depth chart, or wearing a different uniform. So here's the question, Viking Nation. Did the Vikings give up on Kobe King too soon, or was this the right move to clear space for better players? Drop your take in the comments. If you think the front office made a mistake, hit LIKE and let them know. And if you believe this is just part of the process and the Vikings will hit on future picks, subscribe and trust the rebuild. But don't go anywhere, because while the Vikings shuffle the roster, a bigger problem is brewing on the fence. The top pass rusher, the guy who leads the team in pressures and quarterback hits, just got rolled OUT for Sunday. Who steps up? The answer is coming, and it's not what you expect. Friday morning, Kevin O'Connell steps to the podium with the final injury designations, and the news hits like a hammer. Jonathan Greenard, the Vikings' top pass rusher, is out for Sunday's game against the Bears. Greenard's been dealing with a shoulder injury since the Baltimore game, and despite hopes he'd fight through it, the medical staff shut him down. This is massive. Greenard leads the Vikings with 33 pressures, 9 quarterback hits, and 10 tackles for loss through 9 games. He's only got 2 sacks on the stat sheet, which is low for a player who posted 12+ in each of his last 2 seasons. But anyone watching the tape knows Greenard's been a menace. He's been a hair away from multiple sacks, with quarterbacks escaping his grasp by inches. He also has 3 pass deflections and a forced fumble. This is a guy who sets the tone on the edge in both pass rush and run defense. Without Greenard, the Vikings turn to Dallas Turner, the second-year linebacker who just got fined for sacking Lamar Jackson. Turner's flashed talent, racking up 19 pressures and 1.5 sacks so far, but he hasn't made the leap some expected. Now he's thrust into the starting role opposite Andrew Van Ginkel, who's arguably the Vikings' most important defensive player due to his versatility and playmaking ability. The pressure is on Turner to step up. On the interior, guys like Kellen Redmond, Javon Hargrave, and Jonathan Allen need to collapse the pocket and get to Caleb Williams. Depth pieces like Levi Drake Rodriguez and Tyrion Ingram Dawkins will get their shot at edge, but Richter and Tyler Batty can see snaps if Turner or Van Ginkel need a breather. The Bears, meanwhile, are missing linebacker TJ Edwards, which helps Minnesota's run game. Safety Yaquin Brisker and cornerback Jalen Johnson, who had his practice window open Friday, are questionable. The Vikings need to capitalize on Chicago's injuries in attack. But here's the thing, to win Sunday, Minnesota doesn't just need the defense to step up. They need J.J. McCarthy to be better. Much better. Let's talk accuracy. Through for starts, McCarthy's numbers are ROUGH. He's completed 58 of 108 passes for 692 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He also has 2 rushing touchdowns and a fumble. Among the 37 quarterbacks with at least 100 dropbacks this season, McCarthy's completion rate of 53.7%, and his passer rating of 6 to 5.8, both rank last. He's 36th in EPA per play, ahead of only Cam Ward. He's 36th in success rate and completion percentage over expected, ahead of only Dylan Gabriel. Any advanced metric you pull up puts McCarthy in the bottom left corner of the chart, struggling to find consistency. But here's the nuance. For games isn't enough to define a career. Plenty of quarterbacks stumble early and figure it out, and McCarthy has shown flashes of brilliance. The Vikings are 2-2 in his starts, with both wins on the road in division games. He's thrown 3 touchdowns in each of those victories. He ranks 4th in the league in big-time throw percentage, a PFF stat that measures passes with excellent ball location and timing, usually downfield into tight windows. That's elite processing and arm talent showing up in spurts. The problem, McCarthy's also had the disastrous halves. In week 2 against the Falcons, he fell apart in the second half while dealing with an ankle injury. Last week against Baltimore, he injured his hand on a teammate's helmet and completed just 6 of his final 17 attempts. His completion percentage over expected CPOE is dragged down by those 2 brutal stretches, both potentially influenced by injury. When healthy, McCarthy's shown he can make NFL throws. The question is consistency. Kevin O'Connell believes it's coming. He said Monday that McCarthy's pocket movement is still developing, that he's learning when to subtly slide up versus when to scramble. O'Connell called it normal for a young quarterback. On Wednesday, O'Connell said, quote, "What I'm looking for is the consistency of being able to put some routine things in the I can expect them every time category, and that becomes natural." And on Friday, O'Connell dropped this. The last 2 days, he might have had 2 of his best throwing practices of the season. That's what the Vikings need Sunday. Consistent accuracy, controlled aggression. McCarthy currently leads all qualified quarterbacks with an average depth of target of 10.9 yards, which shows he's not afraid to push the ball downfield. That's good, but he also needs to know when to take the check down, when to hit the short route and keep the chains moving. The Vikings need to run the ball effectively with Aaron Jones, protect McCarthy with a clean pocket, and let Justin Jefferson be the dominant receiver he's capable of being. And above all, they need McCarthy to trust his reads and deliver accurate passes on the easy throws. If McCarthy struggles again, the playoff hopes fade. If he takes the leap O'Connell believes is coming, the Vikings can make noise in the NFC North. Sunday against the Bears is the litmus test. SKOL Nation, do you believe McCarthy turns the corner this week? Comment your prediction. If you think he's about to drop THRE touchdowns on Chicago, smash LIKE and manifest it. And if you're ready to see the Vikings move to 3-0 in the division, hit subscribe and let's take over the North. But don't click away yet, because the conclusion is about to tie all 5 stories together and reveal what happens in the next 72 hours. Plus, there's a Packers rumor you need to hear. 5 stories, 1 storm. The fine punishes Dallas Turner for a clean sack and exposes a broken rule. The injury report clears J.J. McCarthy, but leaves Jonathan Greenard on the sideline, forcing a rookie to step into the spotlight. The roster mystery reveals Kobe King vanished after the front office bet on him publicly. The edge rush loses its best player right when the Vikings need him most. And the quarterback controversy simmers as McCarthy's accuracy battles his flashes of brilliance. Minnesota doesn't fear chaos. Minnesota becomes the chaos. This franchise just revealed its identity to the entire NFC North. Resilient, relentless, and ready to fight for every yard. Let's break down what this really means. If the Vikings execute on all 5 fronts, Chicago falls Sunday and Minnesota moves to 3-0 in the division. That's the foundation for a playoff push. The defense needs Dallas Turner to channel his anger from that $15,000 fine and terrorize Caleb Williams. And Ruvan Ginkel needs to be everywhere, blitzing, dropping into coverage, setting the edge. The interior line, Hargrave, Allen, and Redmond, needs to collapse the pocket and make Williams uncomfortable. Without Greenard, this is a collective effort. Everyone needs to step up. On offense, J.J. McCarthy needs to prove Kevin O'Connell right. If his last 2 practices were truly his best of the season, Sunday is where he shows it. Accuracy on the routine throws, touch on the deep balls, decision-making in the red zone. The Vikings can't afford another half where McCarthy completes 6 of 17. They need efficiency. They need Aaron Jones pounding the rock and opening play action. They need Justin Jefferson reminding everyone he's the best receiver in football. They need the offensive line, with Blake Brandel at center again, to give McCarthy time and keep him clean. Special teams matter too. Miles Price has been solid as a returner despite the fumbles against Baltimore. Field position will be critical in a divisional slugfest, and the defense needs to create turnovers, force Williams into mistakes, get a strip sack, pick off a pass, make the Bears panic. Here's the bigger picture. The Vikings are sitting in a division race with the Lions and Packers. Green Bay's been clicking. Detroit's been dominant. But if Minnesota wins Sunday, they're 2-0 in division road games and 1-0 at home against the North. That tiebreaker could be everything in January. The math is simple. Win the division games, stay alive in the wild card race, and make the playoffs a realistic goal. Lose to Chicago, and the season starts slipping away. Now here's what I need from Viking Nation. 1. Smash that like button if you believe the Vikings just became the most dangerous team in the NFC North. TWO. Drop a comment with your boldest prediction for Sunday. Are we winning by double digits? Is McCarthy throwing for 3 touchdowns? Is Dallas Turner getting the sacks? 3. Subscribe, because every single subscriber makes Packers fans furious. And we're about to take over the entire division. Let's flood the algorithm with purple pride and show the League Skull Nation is louder than any fan base in football. But listen closely, because here's the edge of the cliff. One decision is still pending. Jonathan Greenard's injury is being evaluated day to day, and sources say he's targeting a return for the Week 12 game in Green Bay on November 23rd. If he's back for that Packers showdown, the Vikings defense gets its heartbeat back at the perfect time. But if the injury lingers, Dallas Turner and the edge rotation need to prove they can survive without him for multiple weeks. That timeline matters, and we'll know more in the next 72 hours. And on top of that, the Packers just cleared cap space. Green Bay freed up $22 million and they're targeting a free agent. Rumor has it, according to insiders, it's the same player the Vikings have been scouting. This is a rumor, but the whispers say Minnesota and Green Bay are about to enter a bidding war for a defensive difference maker. Which team lands him? That could swing the entire division race. Plus, there's a rumor circulating that a Vikings defensive leader called a players-only meeting Thursday night. No coaches, no front office, just players. What was said in that room could either unite this team or fracture it before the stretch run. That story drops in the next video. SKOL Nation, the storm is here. The division is OURS to claim. Jonathan Greenard's timeline. J.J. McCarthy's accuracy, Dallas Turner's redemption, and the Packers' cap space maneuvering all collide in the next 2 weeks. Hit subscribe, stay locked in, and let's make the NFC North bleed purple and gold. The battle starts Sunday. The war never ends. SKOL. See you in the next chapter.